Welcome to the Local Marketing Source Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com. This update is taken from the Local Marketing Source Professional Development Program for local marketers.
This week's Local Marketing Update is brought to you by Scott Gallagher. Scott is the co-founder of Local Marketing Source and has become the recognized expert in providing online marketing services to local businesses. Follow Scott on Twitter @ScottGallagher5 and on Facebook.com/ScottPGallagher.
Hey, well, good afternoon, everyone. Scott Gallagher here with Local Marketing Source, bringing you our Local Marketing Industry Weekly Update. Now, live Q&A is going to follow the weekly update. And our next faculty call is going to be next Wednesday, July 18th at 4 p.m. Eastern. Well, we don't have any housekeeping items this week, and this week's overview is really short, so I've got a special little surprise to you to continue to try to offer you guys value. There really just didn't seem to be a lot that went on this week in the local community. Sometimes, like I say, we could talk for well over an hour just on the updates that happen on a broad sense in this industry in 7 days. You'll have to forgive me as I pause from time to time to take drinks. I feel like I was coming down with something. My son, he's 7 years old. He's been ill, and the heat in Chicago, I don't know where you are in the world, but this country has just been hammered. And just heard a statistic recently that the last 12 months is the hottest 12 months on record consecutively in history. It's just unbelievable, and we hit well into the 100 degrees last week, and going to hit it again tomorrow. Dehydration, got to drink a lot. But a lot of people getting sick. Really important. In any event, so as I was saying, this week we've got a special little surprise to talk to give you guys and those that are listening to the recorded call as well. We're going to get into that, and we'll get into live questions at the end. But just as an overview, Matt Cutts back on the line again and indicating what type of links may be devalued. Pretty much any time we've ever heard Google come out and publicly say that a link might be devalued, it will be devalued. What was it, a year and a half ago, infographics were a big way to get links. If you don't know what an infographic is, it's just it's an image, and on that image it has links that go to different sources. Different parts of the image will link to different areas. You can apply tags, and those links generated some good value. I guess you could call it a black hat strategy. They overvalued links. And now Matt Cutts has come on. If you don't know who Matt Cutts is he's the head of web spam for Google, and definitely a voice for Google when it comes to the SEO community. It doesn't. We're not saying that links from graphics are going to be dissipated. We've always known that when you've taken a link from a graphic and added the alt tag, putting the keywords into the alt tag, that's passing link value with that particular anchor text. That had always been less than just good old anchor text in text on a web page. But we're not saying that that's going to dissipate. And it all comes down to relevancy. So if there's a page that's talking about a dentist in Algonquin, and the pictures of the doctor or the dentist, maybe that should be labeled Dr. So-and-so hyphen located in Algonquin, Illinois. It's properly tagging images, and when we properly tag images for exactly with what they are, and when those images were properly thought about for the audience in question, you naturally get keywords into the alt tags of images, and that's why there's relevancy to it. And man, there's probably a time warp happening right now. I'll tell you what, I just had about 6 beeps in my ear in about 60 seconds. people hopping on the line. Those would be local marketing source students in true fashion, huh? You know, good old Scott Gallagher. God, I remember this one time. It was just showing up. It was my grandmother's funeral, and I was 3 hours away in Toronto, and I had to get there. And I drove so fast. I ended up getting a speaking ticket up there. It's kilometers per hour, and I was hitting 160, 170, and I showed up right on the wire. And it's like my mom says to me, you know, Scott, you're just unbelievable. You're never late, but you're just right on time. And yeah, that's the story of my life. But it reminds me of an expression: failure to plan is planning to fail. And I continually try to make efforts of planning in my personal life and business life, and it's always a challenge. It needs to be done. Nonetheless, Matt Cutts, we were talking about discounting links, and I was mentioning that doesn't seem to surprise me because infographics are confusing. You know, you take a website like Craigslist and why it did so well, if it's simplicity. It's just that little, the whole notion of blue text and a little blue underline underneath it. We know those are links, and that's why they have a lot of value to it. That's why they pop up. And it's just not natural to assume that you're going to go and click on a picture unless that image says, click on me for this reason. Yeah, we've got some rollover effects with certain browsers, but they all render differently. You run into cross-browser compatibility issues, and So an infographic really does not have much value to it at all, and it's also something that a search engine has a difficult time really reading. Hey, what is this graphic of? What am I actually looking at here comparative to the links? Well, we learned that was built into Google's algorithm maybe a couple of years ago. The terminology we used in our industry was called word stemming. And word association. That was, you know, where Google was looking at the words around a link, not just the anchor text itself. So be careful of that. Now, interestingly, you know, Google, does Google admit guilt here? It was about 6 months ago Google got caught, and they got caught by Apple. And it hit the mainstream media, and they got caught by tricking Apple Safari browsers, and it allowed Google then to place a cookie on an Apple computer and track that Apple user and serve up ads based off of that user. Well, there's a lot of money at stake. In our world of marketing, we call that remarketing. Some people call it retargeting. And what remarketing or retargeting is if I go and visit a web page or a website, and that website drops a cookie on my computer. Now any time that I go to a website that's serving me ads off of, say, the Google AdSense network or AdWords network or the content side of it, it will serve ads based off of, and it will serve me the ad for the website that I had visited. And this can go on indefinitely, whether it's 30 days or 30 minutes or a year. And there's a lot of argument over that, whether that's fair or not. It makes sense. It's like, you know, walking down the street and having billboards serve you unique ads as you pass them on the sides of walls and whatever the world may look like. But nonetheless, companies like Facebook and Apple obviously don't want to give that power to a company like Google. And so Google's turned around and agreed to pay a fine of, you know, a little over $20 million. But they're not admitting guilt. What they've come out and said is, oh, we didn't know it was doing this, and it was using some of the same technology that we utilize in another product of ours. Well, okay, that might be good enough for mainstream media, but I know the people that are on the phone right now are listening to this and going, well, that's a head scratcher there. Can there really be programmers inside of Google collecting this information and not really knowing what they're doing? Or are there people internally doing what they're doing and upper management doesn't know? Or are they trying to pull a fast one and decided to make a payment without admitting guilt, just to put it away and get it out of the media? Who knows? Nonetheless, it's unlikely that it was 100% unknown and it was a mistake. And therefore, for that reason, that smells like dirty play to me from Google. Not a fan to hear that. Well, having said that, folks, nothing that much on the top forefront to talk about news. There's some stuff in the SEO community that we could discuss, but we're here to talk about local. And so I've been putting together a piece that very soon we're going to publish. I guess you could say it's something I've been working on for several years, but really focused on it in the last few days. And it's a very simple piece, very straightforward, and it's just top 10 strategies for local ranking. You know, this is the content that you get into a local marketing source. And when you start to look at all the bullet points, this is going to be a great document that we're going to add directly to the content. The content expands on every one of these pieces. This is something that everybody's been looking for some time, and I just want to go over that on a high level in terms of priority, what we should be focusing on, and where to move forward with that. And so number one inevitably is profile. We talk about establishing profile authority, taking a look at Google Places Best Practices Guide and understanding that, utilizing a tool like getlisted.org to claim and verify your listings, at least claim Google, Bing, Yahoo, and my project manager's favorite, Super Pages. Fill out your profiles thoroughly, all the descriptions, establish your NAP, and you know there's certain things to stay away from. Second off, we talk about reviews, implementing a review acquisition system. You know, professional services offices, for example, could hand out a postcard, a thank you postcard, when they hear that, you know, I like my teeth. Go ahead and leave a review. Here's a QR code that you can scan to get it on. Encourage positive customers to leave reviews online. Utilize the HReview HTML rich snippet markup on websites for reviews. Establish a social media presence. We know this is number 3. Create and participate in social media channels. You know, have a business page or a fan page on at least Facebook, Google+, Local, and LinkedIn. Follow the best practices guides, like establishing the photos, all the descriptions, the links. Just make sure it's SEO optimized. And engage with your audience in different ways. Number 4, we talk about citations. Absolutely, in the accelerated program, we talk about all the different public sources and how to acquire citations from there, whether it's federal, state, or city governments, different business magazines, newspapers, postal services, all your different data providers and review sites like Super Pages, InfoUSA, Yelp, Google, Yahoo, Angie's List. Identify location-based pages like local newspaper or the Chamber of Commerce, joint ventures. Local directories, Steam-related pages, different directories and data providers. Maybe you can get citations, we call it outside the box as well, you know, drop in an ATM or a kiosk. What if your building that you're in is very old? Get it registered at the National Registry of Historic Places. Local sponsorships, local charities, really great places. Speaking engagements. Host a weather station at your office and get it online. Number 5, creation of videos. Local businesses can create 4 types of videos, like an office walkthrough, or a testimonial video, an operational video, or a commercial or an advertisement type of video. Distribution and promotion is important. Local PR, create and distribute press releases. You can get them distributed through local newspapers, regional newspapers, local free publications, go ahead to your chiropractor's office. You can pick up one there. And then there's on-the-page SEO. We go through 15 different on-the-page SEO factors of maybe 200 that are relevant in the program, as well as a on-the-page checklist. Company blog, relevant. Make sure you use WordPress, use SEO plugins, blog weekly, and link the blog posts internally with the keywords to appropriate pages on the website. Make sure you've got opt-in conversion optimization. One way that you can do that is with a pop-up or a welcome gate. Number 9, external links. This is the importance of SEO, but now you're talking about links going to the business website as well as the profile page. And then finally, number 10, system for measurement and correction. You need to measure your claimed listings. You need to measure your keyword rankings. You need to measure your keyword strategy, your competitive research, and finally, citation acquisitions. So, I just wanted to be able to share some of that in a very, very high level, very, very quick guide. And then, of course, you can go and find all the appropriate content that you need in the program to do each one of these steps. So having said that, folks, I'm going to turn around, and this is the conclusion of our weekly update. I'm going to open the floor to questions.
That concludes this Local Marketing Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com. This update is provided from the Local Marketing Source Professional Development Program for local marketers. Visit localmarketingsource.com for additional resources focused on online marketing for local businesses.